Welcome everybody, my name is Mr. Llama, and today I am bringing you Winning with Ease. This is going to be defending the 111. What is that, everybody? You are saying, oh, the 111, finally! Yes, the 111, because, hey, this was such a highly requested video. I was like, you know what, I want to make sure I get this right, so I grabbed some really good players, GMs and such. He's telling the other guy what I do. Yes, I make videos, hopefully to help people out, tutorials, etc. And everybody was saying, oh, the 1-on-1 is so hard to defend, blah, blah, blah. What is a great way to defend it? And I was like, you know what, I'm just going to ask my friend Darkness here because he knows what he's doing. He is a very good GM, Protoss player. And I'll let him go and defend, and then at the same time I want a really good Terran, so I got a very, very high Masters Terran player to do the 1-1-1 build against him, and he's actually going to do the 2 racks, 1 factory, starport variation, and I believe he does not grab cloak this time. So I mean, we played around with a lot of 1-1-1 variations, and I mean, there are so many, so I know some of you are going to come to me and you're going to be like, yeah, but what happens when he grabs this unit with it, and he brings these with it? And I mean, you know, I'm doing whatever I can. I'm really going to try and bring you, you know, just kind of the most standard, most basic sort of, you know, strong 1-on-1, and then you have to react slightly differently to each one, and Darkness saying, I can lose, I just don't. But you know, it's something where it's like you have to react just a little differently to each one, or you can just react the same if you really want. You know what? That's what Darkness says a lot of the times. He says, you know, I just kind of do what I do my build, and then after that, I'm pretty fine. So here we're gonna see Darkness get in, go ahead and be annoying to the SCV, force an SCV pool, yada yada yada, and actually back out. So what you could be doing at this point, of course, with this probe is getting in to check to see is there a gas going down or not, and if we do look, there is a gas. So this right here would be one indicator, you know what, be a little more defensive. But people wanted to see what happens, how do I defend a 1-on-1 when I go for a 1-gate FE? I forgot to mention that, so it will be a 1-gate fast expand. And here he's going to try to, you know, continue with this probe, try and scout in. Doesn't really get too much, so he's just going to back it off, trying to just, you know, be as scout heavy as possible. Though, unfortunately, you know, he did not get in and see the gas right there. So, regardless, he will be using this later on to check for the 1-racks FE, because you know what, if that's not up by 345, where of course he could have blocked off and then dropped the command center, something's wrong. So here's where he's going to be sending the probe back in. This is such a crucial scout. Especially if you didn't scout, you know, a gas or anything, if you want to keep that probe alive. Here he gets over there, he checks and sees, oh, nope, no command center, and now I'm going to run back home. So now he knows something's up, right? Because there's no command center, so he's going to drop a chrono boost on both these things just to be a little bit safe, you know. Maybe there's some sort of Reaper coming out. I mean, you never really know what's going on, so you want to be a little bit more defensive. You can get that Zealot Stalker that you can then push over with to have better scouting information, and then of course you can have the sentry out to force field off the ramp in case anything else is coming that you don't really know about at this point. So sentries, of course, also just good to have for when you are going for an expansion right here. So that's kind of what he is getting at this point. He's going to start mining minerals and then get his expansion down, yada yada yada. And I want to talk a little bit more about the variation. So it's a 2 racks, 1 starport, 1 factory, 1-1-1, and he's going to be having, and here he's going to, you know, check in right here and be like, oh, okay, no expansion still, get up the ramp, oh, there's a bunker there, okay. And sometimes they'll try and place this bunker right here, but you can tell if there's like 1 marine shooting because, hey, only one of these lights right here in the bunker is actually showing. So if there's one, only one of these will shoot. If 2 of them are shooting, there's 2 marines. If there's 3 marines, 3 of them shoot, and all 4 windows will shoot if there's 4 marines. That's just a little tip, a little thing right there for you to know. So here, he's adding on 2 more gateways. Notice the timing, it's at like 30, 31, 32 supply, and then getting a robotics facility right behind that. So this is how you should play a 1-gate expand regardless. I mean, anytime you're playing this 1-gate expand, this is the order right here. You want to get 3 gates, you want to get your robo out, and oh, I guess he already has warp gate. Yep, so warp gate did finish right there. So 3 gates, get that robo out, and that's just kind of what you're going to be. That's going to be your main kind of production facilities right there. That's exactly what you want to have, and a lot of players will kind of skimp on these things. They'll either get this robo later or they'll wait too long on this. The importance of rushing this robo out at like that 35, 33 mark is because now you can rush an observer over. You know what if he's going Cloak Banshees? He's got this little defense right here. We don't know what he's going. We want to have an observer out. We want to be able to scout what's going on, and here, you know what, a Banshee's in the base. If this Banshee had Cloak, now all of a sudden you have an observer right there. You can deal with it. It looks like Levaden did not go for Cloak Banshees, but regardless, this is good for Darkness to have in case he did go for Cloak Banshees, right? So that's just something right there. Boom. One thing that didn't happen in this game that you could still be prepared for is the Cloak Banshee, and that's if you get that robotics facility down at that 31, 33 supply. You know, you get gate, and then robo. That's what you want to be doing. So now he has one observer back here to defend with these stalkers against any sort of harass that comes in from the Banshee, and this second observer, of course, can head over to scout what's going on. So here he can get in the base and say, alright, I see what's happening. I see barracks, I see starport, I see a factory. I know what's going on right here. So now he's going to try and be aggressive, try and pick off that Banshee right there. Not going to happen. That's okay. You know what? We're completely fine because we should be ahead in Harvesters. Yep, we're ahead in Harvesters. We've got our second base up. Our opponent does not. So we're just trying to be as defensive as possible at this point. Throw down a fourth gate right there. I mean, notice kind of the timing is just whenever you can really fit it in. So, you know what? He's making units all the time. Now he's going to add a fourth gateway right onto here and start getting out Immortals. These Immortals are going to be so crucial in this army, as well as these Zealots. And here he's got his Stalkers in the back right there, and that's a little bit scary that he's only got 3 Stalkers. But if for some reason 2 or 3 Banshees head over here and march right on in, he can warp in another round of 4 Stalkers right there to deal with the Banshees. So right now he's playing this as if it's going to be a little bit more ground intensive. He saw the tanks being produced and stuff, so he saw all the Marines, so he's saying, you know what, if I can get a lot of Immortals and Zealots out with this army, that will be so crucial. Look how many Zealots he has. This is such an important thing to do. And then, of course, letting these sentries build the energy. This is why it was so important to get those sentries early, because now they're full of energy. You can have so many force fields. You can have Guardian Shield, and here we're going to see that Levaden's going to be annoying right here, and he's going to siege up and be able to take out this pylon right back here. Notice how he already has another pylon warping in right there for that. And so now he's kind of in a tricky position, right? He's not in the best position whatsoever. These Banshees are right there above. He needs to be careful. He's got some suckers to deal with this, and he's just going to have to kind of force his way down right here. Guardian Shield's going to be huge, and then force fields are going to be so clutch right there as he can completely keep all those Marines kind of locked into a somewhat decent position. Needs to be careful with these Immortals, and look at the pullback right here of this Immortal, which is so critical. And he's able to actually pick off a Banshee and deal a decent amount of damage to another one. Is he able to pick it off? No, he's not. But at this point, Levaden is still not complete. He still hasn't won. There's still 4 gates of production. Another Immortal is out. This Immortal can regain shields and let things tank at this point. Watch and notice how much he lets this Nexus tank. He's going to get another round of Zealots, and then with that extra round of Zealots, with the probes that he pulls right there and everything, he can now push forward. He can use this Immortal up here to start taking out this tank and really just push forward and crush this push right here of Levaden. So he doesn't have much left whatsoever once that eventually falls. And I mean, look how much stuff is still left here for Darkness. Notice how he did not sacrifice everything into that army that was down there. You know what? He was able to kill a decent amount off, wasn't able to fully get it. He backed off, and he warped in more Zealots right back here. He waited. He pulled back that Immortal, waited for shields, kept his Stalkers back here, let this tank, I mean, this lost 1,200 health right here, and then he grabbed his probes, grabbed those Zealots, grabbed the Stalkers, and the 2 Immortals, the one that he had up there, and pushed forward with that and was able to kill off the remaining parts of the army. So, you know what? You're not always going to have the cleanest one-on-one holds. It's not always going to be just, you know, he pushes here, you march out and clean up his army. That's not always going to be it. However, if you're able to push in and deal a decent amount of damage and weaken his force, and then, you know, able to reinforce, because, hey, you're still out macroing him. He still had more probes, and I mean, he had more probes before he had that probe pool, right? So he pooled all his probes right there, but even before then, he was ahead probably like 10 probes or something, plus the 4 gates. He had great production. So you know what? There's no reason. Time is completely on your side. Warp in. If you can delay this push, the more the better, because you're up on bases, you're up on workers. So that's pretty much going to be it for a 1-on-1 hold. I know there's different variations. and you're just gonna have to forgive me and just say, this is a very strong variation right here, and sometimes there's cloaks, sometimes there's things like that, but you'll have your observers out, you'll have things out to really deal with it, so you should be fine with that army composition that I was kind of showing you. So, my name is Mr. Llama, I hope you guys learned something, and I will see you guys in my next video.